The nation's most impressive Easter demonstration. 75,000 massed before Lincoln Memorial to hear Marian Anderson, colored contralto, make her capital debut at the great Emancipator Shrine. Refusal of the DAR to let her use their hall fanned a countrywide controversy, with this great gathering as the climax. The singer was invited by Secretary of the Interior, Ickes, who attends with Secretary of the Treasury, Morgenthau. Spectators include Supreme Court Justice Black, New York Senator Robert Wagner, and a host of notables. Here to listen to the voice acclaimed by many as the finest in a century.
Then she sang.
My name is Luana Barcelos. I'm 21 years old and I live here in Danbury, Connecticut. I suck at interviews. I am a full-time freelance artist and muralist. I graduated from Danbury High School in 2018 and I just graduated from UConn this May with a bachelor's degree in business administration. I absolutely love what I do. Art is my passion and I just want to pursue it like forever. I always want to create. Art was always an escape for me whenever I was stressed or sad or angry or really happy even. It was always just like a way for me to let those emotions out. So art has really always just been a place where I feel safe and I feel at home and I don't feel, I mean, obviously people judge art and that's inevitable. But in a weird way, I don't feel judged by it. Like, I'm definitely my own worst critic, but my art definitely just represents how I'm feeling in that moment, or it's just the extension of me, essentially. It's just the extension of my passion for it, really. Specifically in regards to the Marian Anderson mural, though, I really created a connection with that piece, like, more and more every day as I was going. Not just because, like, I'm a woman and she's a woman and, like, it was a really big opportunity for me to paint this piece, but it just represented something at such a deeper level too, like her being a Black woman and me coming from, like, a family of immigrants. It was just a full circle moment for me to be living in everything that she stood for, because she fought for her right to self-expression and she fought for women's rights even. And I just think it was just such a beautiful thing for me to really be painting a mural in honor of her, but really living in everything that she stood for and everything that she fought for. So this mural isn't just, like, big literally, it's really big to me, like, metaphorically speaking too. So I actually had a friend of mine who saw the artist call that the city of Danbury had posted for any muralists to apply to submit a mural in honor of Marian Anderson, and she had DM'd it to me on Instagram, and she thought that I'd be a perfect fit, and I was immediately interested after reading, like, who she was, the fact that it was a woman, like, what she stood for. It was all, like, a very exciting thing. I remember talking about it with my parents and my family, and they were all super on board, and they had more, like, belief in me than I did in myself at that point, because I thought, you know, I'll audition, like, I won't get it, but it'll still be fun to try, it'll still be, like, a good experience. So I applied in September, I believe, and I submitted my design and a proposal essentially explaining, like, why I feel like I should paint this. And I passed that stage, and then there was, like, another stage where we had to talk about like, how we would implement the project and how we would reallocate the funds for it. And so I submitted that too, already in shock, thinking, like, oh my god, I can't believe I even passed, like, the first round, this is crazy. And then I received a call saying, you know, like, congratulations, and I was just completely shook. Like, even on the phone, the lady was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay, like, I'm just freaking out. And then, like, of course, I was just crying as soon as, like, I heard the news. I told everyone about it, like, called everyone in my family, called all my friends. I was just so excited. And so I collaborated with some of the people on the selection committee because they absolutely loved my design, but their only request was that I make it a little bit more not just about who Marian Anderson was, but what she represented to Danbury as well. And so I had the pleasure of spending an afternoon at the Danbury Museum and just learning so much about her and so much about her history, and truly, like, with every step I took, like, learning more and more about who she was and what she stood for, it just made me feel that much more connected to the project. It was just, like, a very beautiful thing. Not to sound cheesy, but I really think that, like, I didn't choose art kind of chose me, because even when I was younger, I would, like, always be, like, drawing and painting and just making anything, and, like, looking back at it, I think that, like, it's bad, and I guess my mentality almost pushed me to get, like, a real job, or, like, trying to fight, like, people saying, you know, the whole starving artist mentality, and that was always really hard for me to hear, because deep down I always wanted to be an artist, but I felt like I couldn't do it as, like, a real career. So when I applied to college, I figured, you know, I'll do art on the side as, like, a hobby, I'll still try to like keep my skills sharp, but it's time for me to like move on and grow up, I guess. So when I went to UConn, I applied to the business school because I figured, you know, if I'm not putting my art skills to work, I might as well put my people skills to work. And I figured that the business arena would suit me because it's easy for me to talk to people, and I really enjoyed taking my like economics classes, so I figured it was the right area for me to get into. But funny enough, while I was at UConn, UConn actually commissioned me to paint a mural in their student lounge, and with that project came another one and another one and another one, and it was like some force like just pushing me to be like, this is what you should do, this is who you should be. And by my junior year of college, I realized that really the only thing in my way is myself, and I'm just here to like smash the stereotype of like the starving artist, and I want to prove not only to other people but to myself that, you know, this is my career and this is my job and this is just like what I love to do, and I never want to stop doing. I think the people around me are my biggest motivation. Kind of ties into my role in life and just community. Like, I would be absolutely nothing without the people in my life. I truly believe that. I especially look up to my dad, who is just such a hard worker. He works so hard, and I think about him, and I think about the other like strong women in my life that I've also seen like working day in and day out. And you know, when I do have rough days, when I'm doubting myself, when I just feel like there's nothing left, when like I'm literally on empty, it's those special people in my life who literally bring me like from 0 to 100, like in the most literal sense. I could be having the worst day, but my friends, my family, like they're the ones who really change my attitude and my perspective on things. Like, even tying it back to art too, you know, I'll be working on a piece that like I might be staring at for way too long, so I kind of hate it, but they'll just talk about things that like they love about it, or, you know, be like, hey, well maybe if you tried this or did this. So I just feel like community and the people who you surround yourself with play such an important role in how you see yourself and how you look at the world and how you look at others. And that's really my biggest motivator, is the people around me, because they love me so much, and I know that whatever happens, I can count on them. I would want people to remember me as someone who is not afraid to speak their mind, but is also just a really good friend. It always ties into that. It ties into, you know, your character, and not only, you know, what you can get from other people, but what you can give to other people. And it doesn't have to always be monetary, but sometimes, you know, like just being the shoulder for somebody to cry on, it's so important. So I just always want to be that person, and I would want people to remember me as that person, you know, someone who they talked to who like really cared about what they had to say, or really cared about what they were doing or what they were working on, because everyone wants to feel that way. Like, everyone wants to feel like important or seen, or like what they're doing is truly being noticed by somebody. And so I would hope that people would remember me as that person.